Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the second episode of my new podcast. So, today I'm just going to be talking about the Dodgers, everything Dodgers, lineups, rotation, injured players, front office, potential trades, prospects, you name it. I might miss a lot of stuff, but yeah, I'll just try to cover everything that I can. So, first off, before I get into all that, I want to spend a little bit of time talking about Vince Scully and just the impact that he's had on me as a Dodgers fan, uh, and just his final season. I think he's been broadcasting for about 67 years. I think that's like the longest tenured broadcaster in American history or something like that. Um, I, I'm probably totally off on that. Um, but yeah, he's been doing this job for a long time, and he's been the best at it for a long time. Um, I love Vin Scully. I'm a Dodgers fan. It's my favorite team. And, if it was up to me, I wish that he would broadcast every game, away games, home games, everything. But, yeah, it's going to suck to not be able to hear him next year and the years going forward. It's going to be rough. Um, you know, when I listen to Vin Scully, I feel like I'm in 1963 or like the 70s or something because he just takes you back. He takes you back. He recalls all the history that he remembers from the old Brooklyn days. Old past World Series. He'll tell you stories about the other team's players, and and the thing I love about Vince Scully the most is he's impartial. He doesn't tell you that he's rooting for the Dodgers. He doesn't tell you what team he wants to win. He's just really old school with it, and he's really unique. There will never be another Vin Scully. And again, I'll miss him. Fellow Dodger fans will miss him, and fans of other teams, I'm sure they'll miss Vin Scully as well. So yeah, just want to spend a little bit of time talking about Vin Scully. So let's get into the Dodgers, the current Dodgers, the 2016 Dodgers. First off, the president of president of baseball operations for the Dodgers, Andrew Friedman. He took over, I think, last year, at the beginning of last year, and to be honest, he's been doing an amazing job. First thing that comes to mind, the prospects that not only we've drafted, but we've also traded for. Um, he knows what he's doing. You know, uh, when he was with the Tampa Bay Rays, he did an amazing job bringing in top prospects, building top prospects. Evan Longoria, David Price. I think B.J. Upton when he was in his prime. Carl Crawford, Scott Kazmir. The list goes on and on. I remember in 2008, that was the team that, with all those guys, they were in the World Series against the Phillies. They didn't win, but they were a team of young guns. They were all under 30, and they just, no one thought they'd win. No one thought that they'd make it to the playoffs, and they did. And you got to credit Andrew Freeman for a lot of that. Now he's with us, and a lot of people don't really know what to expect from him. But I'm fellow Dodger fans. I'm just telling you, give him time. He's trying to build up our farm system, and he's done a really good job at that so far. Um, Corey Seager, he's been one of our main bright spots from coming from our farm system in recent years. I know Trace Thompson. He hasn't been. He wasn't homegrown in the Dodgers farm system, but uh, Andrew Friedman, pulling the trigger, telling Farhan Zaidi, our GM, to trade for him, or at least include him in a package deal, was huge. He's performing at a really good rate this year. He's just been doing a really good job in our lineup. as a young kid. So yeah, pretty much I'm just saying Andrew Friedman, give him time. He's going to get us to a World Series, a couple World Series. If not this year, he's going to do it in the future. Just give him time. He's doing a good job. So on to our starting rotation. Obviously, King Kershaw, Clayton Kershaw, he's amazing. You know, you can give him all these superlatives. He's the best. 7 walks in, I think, 14, 15, 16 starts. That's amazing. That's unheard of. He's got, he's 11-1 with an ERA, Kershaw-like ERA of 1.5 something. I think it's like 1.57. Kershaw, everyone knows Kershaw, he's going to stay around that mark all year. He's going to be an all-star. He's probably going to win the MVP again. Who knows? But, you know, I don't have to spend a lot of time talking about Kershaw because we all know who he is, what he's going to do, and what he's done. He's the best. He's absolutely amazing. And without Kershaw, the Dodgers wouldn't be contenders. Simple as that. They wouldn't be even thinking about the postseason right now. Scott Kazmir, we didn't trade for him. We signed him to a 3-year deal. And with an opt-out clause, he can opt out after this year. He's not going to do that because he's not having a good year, and there's a reason for that. The last 2 years, Scott Kazmir has been amazing. In 2013 with Oakland, I think he had a ERA of, I think, in the low 3s or the high 2s. And him and Sonny Gray made for an amazing 1-2 punch the last 2 years before him coming to LA. Now that he's with us, he hasn't performed well, but he's been injured. He hasn't been on the DL, but he's been injured. I think he had a pinky injury or a thumb injury in his first about 3 or 4 starts, and then he got on a roll. He he had about 4 or 5 good games in a row, and then he got injured again. Again, he didn't go on the DL, and he's not on the DL now, but he's been dealing with some issues. I think he had a hamstring cramp last time or something like that. I'm not sure I forgot what it was, but it was against the Giants the last time he faced the Giants at AT&T Park. He's been injury prone this year, but eventually he's going to snap out of it. Eventually he's going to get fully healthy again, and he's going to start performing like the Kazmir of 2013, like the Kazmir of 2014. But right now he's not doing a good job, and I blame that on injury. Kenta Maeda, a lot of people didn't know who he was before he was signed. I knew who he was because he pitched in the World Baseball Classic, or I think not the World Baseball Classic. He pitched at the end of the 2013 season. I think it was Japan versus the MLB right after the postseason of 2013. And I just remember watching him, and I remember he struck out Yasiel Puig on like a changeup or a slider, and he just mowed down a bunch of All-Stars, 1 through 9, in that game. Again, 2013 offseason. But I kind of knew what to expect from Kenta Maeda. He's been doing really well. He's got an ERA of like 2.8. And without him, again, we'd probably be really back in the standings. We've been trying to keep ground with the Giants, and he's been a big reason why, him and Kershaw. Julio Urias, he was called up not too long ago, pretty much because our entire pitching staff is going down the drain. Brandon McCarthy, he's trying to recover from Tommy John. Hyun-Jin Ryu, this dude's been out for 2 years. First he was recovering from shoulder surgery, and then he had a setback and then he had a setback last year and this year. So, pretty much we're just trying to wait for these guys to get healthy. But I say to hell with that. We got to win now. We can't wait for these guys to get healthy. I propose we trade for a starter. First guy that comes to mind this year is Sonny Gray. Last year, everyone wanted us to trade for David Price. That would have been a horrible idea. You trade for David Price, give up a bunch of good prospects for a postseason rental, basically, and then he goes sign with another team like he did with Boston. Just a bad idea. But Cole Hamels was a guy that I would have traded for. I wouldn't have mind giving up a guy like Jose De Leon, keeping Urias and Seager. You got to give up someone for a good starter. And Cole Hamels, he's having a great year so far this year. He's 8-1. He's going to make the All-Star team. And Sonny Gray, again, he's a guy I think we should trade for. He would look really good in Dodger blue. Our bullpen, atrocious. Last year, atrocious. 2013, 2014, it was pretty bad. This year, we don't have any big name signings in our bullpen again. But, right now they're starting to put it together. But there's two guys holding our bullpen back. Pedro Baez and Chris Hatcher. Two guys that do not belong in the major leagues. Two guys that do not belong in our bullpen because they lose games. They lose us games in the 7th and the 8th inning. And, I'm fed up. Pedro Baez, he's a guy that throws almost 100 miles an hour. But, he throws meatballs. He throws meatballs in the middle of the strike zone, and he gets crushed. He gets hammered. Same with Chris Hatcher. He throws 97, 98, but he can't locate his fastball to save his life. Those are two guys, they've doomed us for the last 2 years, and I'm tired of it. A bright spot has been Joe Blanton. He's been amazing. ERA of like 2 or under that. He's our setup guy. He's earned that role. And, he's been just absolutely incredible all year. And then you hand it off to Kenley Jansen, a guy that surprisingly has never been to an All-Star game. It's insane. Hopefully he makes it this year because he's one of the best. He's one of the best closers in the entire game. And I can see him continuing to do it all the way to the Hall of Fame. I know it sounds pretty crazy talking about it right now. But Kenley Jansen has the stuff to last for the next, 6-7 years, and I'm just gonna stick with that. The Dodgers have found a closer that they can depend on for a long, long time. So now the lineup, starting off with Chase Utley, a guy that he plays the game hard. I love Chase Utley. Used to be the face of the Phillies, and he's been really decent this year. At first, I didn't want the Dodgers to sign him back, just because he's getting older, and he's not going to produce like he used to with the Phillies. He's not going to make another All-Star team, and I just wanted us to get younger, especially in the infield. Adrian Gonzalez, he's getting older. Howie Kendrick, he's not very, I wouldn't depend on him, for the long haul at second base. Justin Turner, he's not an old guy, but he's not, he's not a guy that I look at as a three-hole hitter. I look at Justin Turner as a, number 5, number 6 hitter, even a number 2 hitter, but definitely not 3 and definitely not 4. But that's the role he's in right now, pretty much because we don't have a big bat. Corey Seager, he's quickly becoming one of my favorite Dodgers. He's only, 22, 23 years old, and he is, he's going to be, it would be a travesty if he did not make the All-Star team this year. He definitely could win an MVP one day. He's better than his brother Kyle, projection wise. And Kyle Seager, he's a beast. You know, every year he hits 25 home runs. You know, he drives in between 70 to 100 RBIs. Corey Seager, I think he's going to be better than that, and that's saying a lot. It doesn't matter if he's facing lefties or if he's facing righties. He's gonna have a really good at bat, a professional at bat, and more likely than not, he's gonna come up with a double or a home run. You know, and he doesn't strike out very often either, which is amazing. So yeah, in the next 2 years maybe, he'll be our number 3 hitter or maybe number 4. We'll see. Hopefully they move him to third base, just because keeping him at short, he's going to become like Tulowitzki, injury prone, brittle, made out of glass. Who's next? Adrian Gonzalez. Adrian Gonzalez, he's getting older. He's having bigger slumps, but he's got to retire as a Dodger. Trading him would be absolutely insane. I can't see it, especially with his contract and what he brings to the table for the Dodgers. You know, I love Adrian Gonzalez. He's clutch, and when it comes to the postseason, he delivers. And in the regular season, he delivers too. He's a Gold Glover, Silver Slugger, and he hits around 300 every year. What more can you really ask for? And he doesn't strike out a whole lot. Definitely number 3, number 4 hitter in the lineup, no matter what team he's on. Trace Thompson, another guy that's becoming one of my favorite Dodgers. The only thing that he can improve better in my eyes is his defense. His reaction rate is pretty subpar. He's still learning how to play center field when Jock isn't playing. But he's a natural left fielder or a natural right fielder. I just love him I love him in the middle of the lineup. I love him as a number 5 hitter. He doesn't strike out a whole lot. He's like Corey Seager. He's like a right-handed Corey Seager, professional at bat every time, and he doesn't. He acts like he's a pro. He acts like he's 29, 30 years old, like he's been playing the game for the last 10 years. That's a guy that I want on the Dodgers. Howie Kendrick, a guy that I was not happy when we signed for him again. He's a slap hitter. He's a natural slap hitter. And he's a guy that fouls off a lot of balls right before striking out or flying out. He should be on the bench. He shouldn't be hitting behind Adrian Gonzalez or Trace Thompson. He should be on the bench. He should be used as depth, not necessarily as a middle of the lineup guy. I'm not a big fan of Howie Kendrick. He's not what he used to be for the Angels. Or at least use him at the bottom of the lineup, Yasiel Puig, his time has come and gone. I hate to say it, defensively, he's amazing. He's got a cannon for an arm. He's got speed. He's a pretty good outfielder, and he's gonna win a couple of Gold Gloves if he stays healthy. But I don't really see him staying with the Dodgers for too long. He's a guy that he hasn't adjusted to pitching. Pitchers have adjusted to him, and he hasn't adjusted to them, and that's his biggest flaw. He still wants to believe that it's 2013, and it's not. He's not going to be able to hit grand slams every other night. He's not going to be able to, be that clutch performer that he was when he first got called up, simply because he's been stagnant. He hasn't really improved his game. He's been relying on his power, his arm. He needs to be traded. Personally, I think he should have been traded last year. But he was injured. Uh, so this year, hopefully, and I know a lot of people don't like my opinion on Yasiel Puig, but I feel that Trace Thompson is a guy that can definitely replace Yasiel Puig if he hasn't already. Um, Jock Peterson, he's another guy that last year he had a very high ceiling, one of the best prospects in all of baseball, and during the first half, he was on his way to hit about projecting to hit about 35 home runs, if not 40. And then the All Star break came, and then after that, he started slumping. One of the worst second halves that I've ever seen from a Dodger. You know, um, it's sad, but he'd come up to bat, and I would say he's gonna strike out, and then he would. Um, you know, this year he's done a lot better, but I'm looking at his average, and I don't see it being over 240, 250. He's gonna hit his home runs, but you know he's a guy that you can trade and get some good pieces back for. So yeah, those are just my opinions on Yasiel and Jock Peterson. Yasmani Grandal, last year he was really good up until he got injured. I think he got injured in August or September. He didn't do well in the postseason, and it seems like he's carrying that into this year. Um, the worst batting average on the team. I think he's hitting 184 or something like that. Uh, he's a guy I would bench. He's not doing well defensively either. He's got a lot of errors. He's not throwing guys out. His reaction time is really slow. And I would play AJ Ellis or even call up Austin Barnes again and let him play. Honestly, this team is just lacking chemistry overall, from the lineup to the starting pitching. Uh, you know, we're not gelling. The Dodgers aren't gelling together as a unit, and that's exactly why they haven't won. A World Series in so long. Um, it's exactly why they haven't. That's exactly why they didn't beat the Cardinals in 2013 and 2014, and it's why they didn't beat the Mets last year. It's chemistry. Chemistry wins games. Chemistry gets you into the postseason, which they've done, but I think it's been more talent based rather than chemistry. And I mean, you can't win a World Series if you don't have team chemistry, and the Dodgers haven't had team chemistry in a really long time. Uh, so the guy that we're missing, obviously, Andre Ethier. Uh, I'm biased with Andre. He's my favorite player, uh, my favorite hitter, rather. Uh, every year he produces. Amidst all the trade talks and everything, he's been clutch for a very long time. He hits between 270 and 300. Uh, he gives you home runs, and he's an amazing outfielder. He can play center, left, right, all well. And you can play him anywhere, and you can bat him anywhere in the lineup, and he'll produce. Um, I think when Andre comes back, this team will play better. I think they'll gel better, and I think Andre is the missing piece right now. Um, and he's been injured for the last 3 or 4 months. So yeah, I still think we need to trade for a big bat. Um, you know, Evan Longoria comes to mind. He's got connections with Andrew Freeman. Um, and, he's on pace to have an amazing year. Probably hit about 30, 35 home runs, if he stays hot all year. He's going to make the All Star team, and he's one of the best third basemen in the game, and he has been for a long time. So right now, the Dodgers, they just snapped a 6-game winning streak. They've been playing pretty well. but the Giants have been playing that much better. I think they've won 13 of their last 15 games or something close to that. They've been on fire. Easily the best team in baseball for the last 30 days. But, the Dodgers, they just need to make a couple of moves, fix the bullpen a little bit. And, I think the Dodgers don't make the postseason, at least the wild card, mostly because of the NL Central. It's been atrocious. I keep using that word just because, I can't think of, another word other than really, really bad. Horrific, the Cardinals, they're old and they're not doing well this year. Not really. And the Pirates, they've been resting on their laurels for the last 2-3 years. Losing wild card after wild card. The Dodgers they're going to make it to the wild card. And it's probably going to be against the Mets or the Nationals, but we'll see. I'm just hoping that we pick up a big bat and our starting pitching gets healthy again. But yeah, I expect a wild card from the Dodgers right now, hoping that they win the division, but that's a long shot right now because I don't believe that they can sustain, winning 6 games out of 8 for the rest of the season, every other series. The Giants, they're going to win because they're healthy. The Dodgers, they're going to have to trade for guys. They're going to have to, they're going to have to find other ways to win. So yeah, right now that's just my outlook on the current state of the Dodgers. Hoping they put it together. Hoping that they get to first place again, because again, San Francisco, I respect them. I don't like them, but I absolutely respect them. They've gotten the job done 3 out of the last 5 years, and they're looking to do it again. 4 out of 7, I believe, or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, guys, that's just how I see the Dodgers right now. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.